So you talked a little bit about some of the threats that are affecting IoT devices. What are the most substantial or worrisome threats that you see affecting these devices today?
So first and foremost is the lifespan. These devices have a really, really long lifespan. Software security, in fact, software might not necessarily be front of mind or a priority within the business itself. They're accustomed to doing things in a hardware way, and there's this software thing that's over here, and how you secure it, well, that's a discipline that they don't necessarily have. And the last one is understanding the types of threats that are associated with the particular device. And that all feeds into understanding how threat models work and what the actual impact of a malicious actor's mindset is all about. The canonical example is if you can get past a gate by walking around the gate, what was the point of having the gate in the first place? And understanding these types of threats is something that is a learned discipline, which means that manufacturers of IoT devices should really be investing upfront in the designs of their systems and understanding the risks that are there.
Great. So you're talking about how it's on the manufacturers to make sure that they're securing these devices.
Absolutely.
What about governments intervening? Do you think that they should be involved, and why or why not?
So governments move at their own pace. And what for government is a quick pace is eons in the software lifecycle. So when software is being developed, a modern agile software development team might have new features coming out on a daily basis, or have a sprint that lasts every 2 weeks where a certain feature set is going to be part of that release, let's call it caravan. The fastest that government can work is not that fast. So what government should be looking at doing is setting a set of standards around what is acceptable types of protections without being overly prescriptive. So there's a bill that I'm tracking that's kind of working its way through one legislature. And in that bill, they're incredibly prescriptive about the types of encryption ciphers that can be used, without realizing that some of the ones that are on that list are themselves obsolete, and that anything encoded in those particular ciphers could be cracked in a matter of under a second. That's a really, really bad scenario, and it's not something that someone who's been through a legal background or a public service background would necessarily appreciate. Yet, once it's codified in a law, now attackers know that, well, instead of having this indeterminate set of cipher suites that data is encoded in, I have this set of acceptable ones. And that's a much easier thing to solve for than the essentially infinite manner in which data could be encoded.